What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by the Adam Meakin, Righteous Force, Paul Hall, Flatzoid and 10th Man in G+, together with a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What up?
Eventful weekend for me. Lots of people producing Black Swan images, more than I can keep up with. So lots of shout outs to be had for people who've been out there and either rummaged through their own footage and found black swans they didn't know they had, or gone out and created new ones. Some revelations. One chap, a baller, has pretty much had an epiphany whilst capturing what he wanted to be a white swan, and then sort of argues with himself while he sees it. Very, very interesting weekend. And then Eddie Bravo shouted me out. So massive thanks to Eddie Bravo. I've gained about 300 subscribers, so welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you very much for coming and subscribing off the back of that shout out. Really do appreciate it. But yeah, cool.
Hell yeah.
Should we do some housekeeping? Hey, Arwin.
Yeah, we have black swans on ice and everything.
Well, speaking of black swans, any evidence of a physical Earth curve edge capable of geometric measurement?
They can't even find an actual tangent.
Nope.
Say that again, Flatside.
Sorry, man, nothing like that laying around.
They can't even find an actual tangent.
Yeah, they'd have to have a straight line tangent to this claim to be physical edge of a sphere that blocks boats in the distance for them to extrapolate geometry to give them values that aren't based in air but based in mathematics at 7/6R if you class it as standard refraction. You know, you've got to have some geometric consideration if you're going to be extracting out that from that value that gives you R. It's 7/6R. So you need the geometric certitude of the physicality of a sphere Earth to base these refractive values, not really refracted, just geometric maths, right? So you need a tangent. That's right.
Well, no such physical edge can be denoted accurately.
Bummer. Yeah, we don't have a geometric sphere edge for a horizon. Any evidence at all of any Earth curvature?
Not from Tehachapi.
Tehachapi.
Yes, that's on the way to Bakersfield.
Tehachapi. A bit like.
It hasn't been curvature since the beginning of time.
Got anything to do with the Chesapeake? Is that close by?
No, this is near the Mojave Desert, and Bakersfield is right in between. Oh, and by the way, there's a town called Arvin, Arvin. Shout out to Arvin.
The horizon is not physical.
Very good.
Any evidence of axial rotation?
Not of the Earth-based variety.
Definitely not.
Scientific evidence of gravity?
They don't even know how to define it, Nathan.
No science.
They still can't get over that it's not even a force.
had this elaborate discussion over at Jose's again for like an hour in between the ballers, and they just couldn't handle it.
As much as it pains me to do this, you were singing his praises, Jose JG Gonzalez. So
Well, Jose himself was doing okay. It's just the ballers were terrible that are in the panel.
I did the same, Nathan. Friday, I enjoyed a session in Jose's Friday and did compliment him on it, especially as I was.
Jose himself, he was pretty gracious. It's just that the ballers that hang around there get so bad sometimes. Yeah.
He's certainly always very welcoming to me. Jose, I can only speak for how he deals with me. And he's always very accommodating and gives me a bit of space, even when I was very, very drunk on Friday.
Well, there you go. Consider yourself lucky. Hey, Jose JG Gonzalez, you've had a bit of a shout out. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics? Redman? Redman, your mic's wide open.
Anything from 10th Man, from Becky?
No, Dr. Becky is still avoiding very simple questions for the hypothesis. So I take it it's pseudoscience then.
Are you still in correspondence, Tim, further? Are you just waiting?
I followed up when 2020 started, left another message, and I'm still waiting. So it's like maybe every 3 months I'll pop in, maybe, because it'd be silly on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah. A bit stalkery, wasn't it? Answer me!
Well, yeah, you don't want to troll her, but you do, by the same token, want to point out that you've asked and you haven't got a reply. Just ask FE News' super chat question, one sec. FE News, thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Any scientific evidence that refraction can make geometric horizon disappear and create a new non-geometric horizon? No, it's a complete non sequitur fallacy, FE News. You can't loom the horizon above the horizon. It wouldn't be scientific evidence anyway. You're not establishing cause and effect. So there's a few people out there. I should have put that in the debunking video. I made a short debunking video for some of the commonly used rebuttals to the black swan argument. I should have put that in there. But there we go. Thank you very much for the super chat, FE News. Any evidence of a molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
No, just pictures.
Only in the glow.
Still makes me think of marshmallows over fire.
Right.
How about the R value? Any evidence of that?
There's
Which R
lots of
value?
evidence of the R value being used in math. That's about
But
it.
math doesn't
You mean-
prove things, remember?
Yeah, but still
mean-
in there, just like the big G.
You mean the R value that Andrew Thomas Young says is 3963 miles, and then takes a measurement from it that the horizon can be no further than 1.23 miles at 1 foot observer height? That R value, that doesn't exist, that's physical?
Yeah. Anybody?
Yeah. The
Do
R
any of
value,
those
the mathematical
calculations-
extrapolation from the misinterpretation of the horizon.
Go on, JQ.
Do any of those calculations give you an apparent size, 10th man? When you
Good question.
Andrew Thomas Young was bringing that up. I was curious. There's a lot of actual sizes in that definition. Were there
That's
any
correct.
apparent sizes?
That's correct. There's no apparent sizes in their maths. It's amazing that they're all bandying around this redundant word apparent, and yet the calculator doesn't deal in apparent anything. It's all actual sizes, feet and inches that don't change with distance, as opposed to apparent sizes that would change with distance. No, they don't account for those. Isn't that amazing? Excellent point, JQ. Any evidence of the distance to the sun? And then I'll read out FE News' at the super chat. Thank you, FE News.
What is the sun?
No, we don't know how far it is. It's gonna warm up my day, though.
I'll let you have this one, FE News. Any evidence any experiment of quote-unquote gravity containing air pressure in a vacuum chamber. I'll let you have that one. Thank you very much for the super chat. In all seriousness, I really appreciate your support. Keeping the lights on. What do we have last? Distance to the sun? Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without a container? There you go, FE News.
Nope.
The antecedents of the thing.
You've gone all mumbly. Say that again, Flatsoid.
The antecedent for gas pressure.
I heard. It's the I heard him though. I'll just repeat it because he's quite mumbly. He said it's the necessary antecedent. Yes, a container would be.
Sounds
the
like
necessary.
he's in a container.
he's in a sealed container.
Yeah, let's hope he's not getting kidnapped.
I'm in space.
I love how.
Oh, and is that you swearing in chat or a different account?
Yeah, that was me.
I was like, I'll let it go. I thought it was, but
I'll nip in the bud that science question from FE News now that the housekeeping's over. So when people come to us and say, what's the scientific evidence for any part of the black swan argument that they don't understand, that's typically what we get. Nobody's asserting this is science. Science is really narrow, and we catch out the globe side because they constantly assert that everything's science. So when they do, we ask them for their scientific evidence, independent variable, dependent variable, because of their assertion that they're using, making a load of noise with their mic open in Discord, because of the assertion, Redman. So
yeah,
it's
I had
a
him on
question
mute.
that's,
Just leave him on mute.
it's a question that's invalid. We don't have this assertion of science with this claim. It's a logical consistency argument, not a claim of scientific evidence. So that straw man, when it gets burned, just brush them to one side, point out nobody's claiming this is science. They're so used to their own side claiming science for everything that they project it onto us. Well, where's your scientific evidence? Sorry, we didn't say the whole body of science proves the horizon is blah, blah, blah. That's your kind of crap. That's the stuff you say, not us. So yeah, now that's nipped in the bud, Darwin. So you said you got a bit, hence me getting pricking my ears up, a bit Nathan-ish or something, words to that effect. What was that all about? And whatever do you mean? I'm perfectly polite and approachable in every respect.
Well, as long as people let you actually finish your sentences, you are, you know. But yeah, you have a way of retaining control over the situation when people overtalk you, and I kind of borrow it because you have to. Because if you don't immediately start spanking them for their antisocial conversation behavior, they're just gonna wallow all in their self-claimed victory of rumpusing you, and then yeah, there's nothing you can do after that point. So I just Nathaned it, just said, oh, look at the fundies, they have to, of course, can't let me finish their explanation because they don't really want to know, that kind of thing. So not as hardcore as you were on Friday on Zanuck, though.
Only because the timing's inducing. I wouldn't normally say this on a live show, but I'll give you the tip anyway. So one of the things I do, which works quite beautifully, is I actually tell them that I'm going to mute them. I don't. Normally the mouse is nowhere near me. But, you know, I'd have to... I'll show for the audience's benefit now. You can probably see... You can't actually see my mouse, but as I move my mouse over these people, you can see when I highlight one of them, a little box appears, and I've got to go into it and physically press on the mute button. Well, that all takes, a few seconds to do. Well, normally I'll say, right, I'm going to mute you, or something, words to that effect. I can't remember the exact phrase I use. It's different each time. But I allude to the idea that they're going to be shut up. And often, that shuts them up. In other words, I don't need to actually mute them at all. You just say, right, I'm going to shut you up. That's what I say. I'm going to shut you up, which implies I'm going to mute them. I don't. Right. And then I just carry on with my point.
Right, you don't beat them with the stick, you just hold it over their head.
Exactly.
Yeah, it works, I guess. I can't do that, of course, if I'm just a panelist. So.
It's just a turn of phrase. I'm going to shut you up. Doesn't mean anything. You know, but and
if you have control over the server or the panel or something, you know.
Doesn't matter.
then it has weight. But if you're just a fellow panelist, yeah, you can say that. But it's not going to have that weight. It's like, oh, wait, I'm actually being threatened to get muted. Now I need to shut up.
But think about it. Forget about the servers. Think about a two-person situation. You're literally on a stage, in a debate. You both sat opposite each other on a chair. And instead of the way I phrase it, you just slight rephrasing to, this will shut you up. And then you make your point. If somebody's rumpusing the hell out of you in person, no, you can't physically stick a piece of tape over their mouth. But using the terminology, this will shut you up, ultimately puts them into a position where you're being told that this is going to shut you up. It's a psychological tool. I don't want to overemphasize this too much because it's my trick that I'm revealing. Nevertheless, just take it as read, Arwin. Let's move on.
I hear them say that shit to me all the time too, you know. It doesn't
Right. Exactly.
Oh, this is going to shut you up. Oh, you just don't know this. You don't just...
Exactly.
All right.
Now you
But
get
I get
it.
what you mean. I get what you mean.
And there's been loads of black swans. I said just before we did the housekeeping, I can't keep up with them. So obviously I'm searching these search terms, and I'm coming across them and go, bloody hell, there's another one, there's another one. It's because people know what it is. The people who are understanding it are going through their hard drives and going, oh yeah, I remember going out and seeing something that I published and got a load of hate for. Let's have another look at it and work out where the horizon should be. Black swan! I saw someone in the comments saying that the horizon must be beyond whatever it is you're observing. I'm like, no, that's not what a black swan is. As long as the horizon is in a position that's geometrically impossible, that said, that means beyond, not before. Just in case anybody was uncertain about that. But yeah, once it's beyond the physicality that it can be, it's a black swan. It doesn't necessarily have to have these... Yeah, the first example was epic because you've got these 2 points that literally tell you how far you are out, and therefore the horizon behind them can only be further. But you can still work it out with other things. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case that the horizon's beyond whatever it is you're looking at. It's just a nice way of presenting it in that image, which is why that one's been used as the poster child.
Yes.
Yeah, keep it up. I hope more people get it, understand the strength of the argument. You know, if the rebuttal is that the horizon's not physical, your response is welcome to flat Earth. It's a really good argument. Should I be presenting that? Who's that? Adam?
It was just along those lines. I was in Discord for the weekend, and somebody's posted this look, proof that a basketball is flat, and I just thought it was a fantastic example of what a geometric horizon is. Look, if you do zoom down so that if a ball is gone to microscopic level so it appears to the observer to be flat, you are still subject to a geometric horizon. And in this case, the point where the geometric horizon kicks in is only after like 3 dimples on that basketball. And past that point, look, everything's fallen away. I'm not sure why a baller would be trying to claim that proves it's flat. It kind of demonstrates the point to me that this, if you are claiming you live on a ball, this geometric edge is fundamental of how you will view the world.
Right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to risk a copyright strike, but nevertheless, I'm going to play it anyway because it's worth it. It is done in the context of... why do I even bother disclaiming fair use? There's no point. Anyway, right, I'm going to share the video. This is made by a dude who I ripped one of his debates with Dark Star. And go on, post it, you bugger. Do a community post. Okay, I'll share it with the chat. So this is, let's get his name correct, Indio 007. So he's a regular on 24/7 Discord. That's the link to this particular video. But what he's done is he's gone and trimmed out a whole bunch of examples that are given to the mainstream with, look, this is just how physical and geometric our horizon is. So what I'm going to do while you guys are chit-chatting, I'll leave it to play out for the audience so you can actually see what he's presented. I'll try and make it a bit bigger as well. But You'll have to go to the live feed if you actually want to watch. But I'll give you the audio as well, just for this first bit. Okay, so I'll just leave it to play through as we're chit-chatting. But basically, he's showing things like the BBC, where they take a watermelon and a little cork boat and show you how, as it goes over, just like I did with the pink ball and the little wedge of cheese, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
So he's just showing that, but by example, by all the mainstream outlets who are telling you just how physical it is, because they're currently... His context, so Indio 007's context, is to say, look, they're currently denying the physical edge of a sphere. It was the same point I made with the exact same snippet from his debate. But their point, here we go, as you can see on screen now, they show this is what they claim, this is that's National Geographic, and and so it will continue with all of the different examples of, look, going over the physical edge. You know what I mean? Because they're currently like, no one claims we have a sphere edge for the boats to go over. It's like, yeah, you do. It's the basic tenets of your religion, for God's sake. So yeah, as I say, he goes through all the different examples and shows them. I've done a video on this dude too when it came out, but I didn't recognise this, how useful this would be. So there we go. I think it was worth the risk just showing this because...
Bottom first.
Yeah, I
They
know.
they figured it out.
Good morning, guys. Yeah,
Hey, chocolate.
yeah.
there's him. Go and
Indio,
subscribe.
I don't think I'll have a problem with playing this because he said it himself. He's not going to let them weasel out of it. This has been their argument for years, and now they just deny the physical aspect of their geometrical horizon. So he's not going to let them out of it. So
Can we get Adam's picture back up for a minute? I
Yeah,
wanna
sure.
talk to Adam.
Yeah, give me a sec, mate.
Basketball one.
Yeah. All right. So this is interesting because it's a good analogy, I guess. I just typed in what's the diameter of a basketball, and it said that the standard NBA basketball is 9.43 to 9.51 inches in diameter. So if we half that, get the radius, say 9.5, half that, it's what is that? That's 4.75 inches in diameter. Okay. Well, if it's diameter of 4.75 inches, and then they say the circumference of the ball is anywhere between 29 5/8 to 29 7/8. So if we know these factors, like they say, I mean, hey, wait a minute, that sounds like the Earth. 39, 59, 24,903, kind of like the basketball. So we're going to be able to know the geometric horizon of it, just like he's got a picture here based on this the circumference and the radius. Well, mainly the radius, obviously. So, Adam, I think you got something here.
Well, that's my point. This is their whole premise. What they're presenting to you here is, and only is, a geometric horizon, which is the thing that is generated if you live on a ball. The geometry of the ball generates a physical horizon. Now, my only other point is how many dimples are looming up above that physical horizon to make the rest of that basketball appear flat. We're not. All they've got there is a very small cross section, yeah, and there is absolutely nothing other than a geometric edge and a drop away.
Actually, the horizon, based on the quotations we read earlier, will never loom. It's the objects behind it.
And simultaneously, that's not really a horizon that you're seeing. That's just a thought experiment of a horizon.
Yes.
Well, it is in a ball world now, isn't it? It used to be the leading edge of that basketball, but it is no longer the leading edge. It's just loomed.
Before we start on the sarcasm, though, no. That is what we are talking about when we talk about physical geometry. That is the physical leading edge of a sphere. Literally, physically. That's what it is. And that's what the geometry is based on. This is all very moot, because ultimately speaking, we've debunked the physical horizon. They're all arguing for it being apparent. And as JQ pointed out earlier, their mathematics isn't dealing in apparent anything. So it's all moot. It's game over.
The funny thing is, this is an anti-flat Earth meme. Like, this is supposed to make fun of flat Earth, but right here they're proving their geometrical horizon.
Right.
And I can guarantee you there was atmosphere there.
Right. Anyway, I just a couple of super chats. So shout out to FE News who says cheers. I think that was for the explanation in regards to maybe was it gas pressure without a container? I forget. Thank you very much for the thanking of me and the super chat. Really appreciate your support, FE News. Also, woo! Shout out to Windrider, who's one of my patrons. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. He says, from Florida, keep kicking butt. I shall certainly try to do so. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Windrider. Really appreciate it.
Shout out to Eddie Bravo, who shouted out Nathan.
Shout out to Chocolate Saying for shouting out Eddie Bravo, who shouted out Nathan.
Shout out to I'm Realm Media for just trying to get in on the shout outs of people who'll be listening from Eddie Bravo's chat. That's I'm Realm Media. Have no sphere.
Have no
Shout
sphere.
out to Adam.
Did you guys
Shout
shout
out
out
to the
Sam
shout-outs.
Tripoli?
Shout out
Let's
to
say-
Chocolate with the shout out after the I'm Realm shout out. Have no sphere.
Go on, whoever it was in Discord.
I just said, did you guys shout out Sam Tripoli?
Yeah. I mean, I noted the show number. I put a link to his show. So yeah, definitely. Big shout out.
Nice.
Hey, let's give a big shout out to Spurs Chemo again.
Yeah, Spurs does
Yeah,
need
hell
some
yeah.
kudos. He does need kudos.
Good on
He's,
you, Spurs.
he's got this
Yeah, good
argument
video.
to the point where he's like, well, it's really simple. It's like, yeah, it is when you get it. Yeah, you can go out and absolutely rape them once you get the argument. But he's like, does nobody else get it? There are people not getting this argument. Like, yeah, Spurs. On both sides, there's plenty of people who don't get it yet. Just because you've got it completely and are ripping them to pieces with it doesn't mean everybody gets it. But well done to you. You get it and you're destroying them with it. It's ace. I ripped again, that was another thing that I mirrored over the weekend. So Spurs just absolutely demolishing them. And he can go off on whatever tangent he likes because he understands the premise of the argument. He's off onto debunking radar off the tangent with Black Swan as the basis of the argument. And you're like, yeah, you can go off wherever you like with it once you demolish the idea of a physical sphere edge. And he gets it. So he's just destroying them. Yeah, big shout out to Spurs.
You remember a long time ago, I told you about my boat and I had a radar system on it. I think it was 16 miles. It might have been 8, but I can't remember now. But there were boats with, up in the 90-mile range as well. And then the Navy boasts of 250 that they're willing to tell us about. And this is direct line of sight. So 1.23 miles? Give me a break.
And that's with refraction.
No, that's based on the geometry.
Terrestrial.
Yeah, it's times the observer's height in feet. So it's just altitude and geometry. Yeah, the physicality of their sphere based on your height. That's it.
Well, that's what the guy said to Spurs who was debating him. It's a straight line. It just shoots straight out. And Spurs held his feet to the fire.
Is that the guy who got silenced and he was just like, well, I'm just going to go watch football.
Yep. Yeah, that was great.
Hold on,
great.
very important business to attend to. So JQ says, thanks for the super chat first and foremost, JQ. Says, I'd like to buy a Horizon halfway between the Riley Horizon and the Chocolate Horizon. Done. We've got the JQ Horizon, we've got the Chocolate Horizon, we've got the Riley Horizon, we've got the Apparent Horizon, we've got the Astronomical Horizon, we've got the Geometric Horizon, and we've got the Horizon to be named later by another participant who might want to super chat if they want to buy a Horizon from me. Obviously it's arbitrary and completely meaningless, but they're up for sale if you want one. Also snake oil. And globes. Got them all.
We got a Glover in
This
Discord
really
chat
makes
here.
QE's evolved Sea Sparrow missile argument really shine, doesn't it?
Shine. With a pencil beam
because
of directness and line of sight.
Yeah. Line of sight, 35 miles, obviously much more, but that's what they tell us. And it's a direct line of sight. And wow, surface to surface. So one ship to another ship right on the water. Where's the 1.23? Oh, but you're at 50 feet high there, right? So it would have to go through
You've never
24
seen it.
miles of water.
You haven't heard? We've never seen the geometric horizon, apparently. They're in complete denial of it now.
Of course they are. but they reference it all the time, and they measure it to get their 7/6R. So what did they measure to get their
They measure
7/6R?
what? What do they measure?
Well, Andrew Thomas Young,
don't-
I posted the chocolate. He said what it was based on the radius of the Earth, no more than 1.22 miles from the height.
But how are they saying that they've never seen it now? I don't understand.
Well,
What could have happened, 10th man?
This is where we have to open up all the Bellevue hospitals around the country to help these people.
Black swan.
Share your pain, ballers.
Well, don't forget if when they're out there monitoring those ships on the horizon, they're gonna wait a minute, it's there. Oh no, it's not. Wait a minute, there it is. Oh no, it's not. Oh wait, there it is. Wait a minute, no, it's not. Because it's weather conditions, remember? So it's there and it's not. It's there and it's not.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sounds like efficient military action to me.
So got a new member.
We have a baller.
Hold on. Just let me shout out this member. Swanna make a bet. New member, Penguin. Thank you very much. Swanna make a bet.
Very good name.
Also, shout out to my latest customer, Neo the One. Says, a Neo the One Horizon, please, with sugar on top. Thank you. Yeah, no worries. We can massage that between the JQ Horizon and the Riley Horizon, I believe. No worries. Plenty of pixels left.
Oh, look at
You're gonna be making a
Professor Phil Bell doubling down on the physical horizon in chat.
Oh, Phil Bell.
It was in my chat too, not answering questions. It didn't even have to do with flat Earth versus globe Earth. It was just about, I was inquiring how can light have a frequency that determines the color, yet it also has a speed, and then the Doppler effect, all these things, redshift, cause a change in color. And he just said, yeah, it changes the color. He never explained it. Asked for like 15 minutes or longer.
Oh, this is a bit disappointing. I suppose I'd have no credibility as a snake oil salesman flogging horizons if I didn't turn away business I can't actually tender. So, Alexander, I'm really sorry. I don't know if I'll have to sort you out with a super chat refund or how you do that. He says, I want to buy a geometric horizon. Do you have any? Yeah, that's a problem. Not actual non-physical horizons only, arbitrary ones, not geometric ones. We don't have one of those. I can't sell you one. My bad. You can't even buy one from Globers at the moment.
That's pretty good. We got a lot of non-actual ones for sale, though.
Yeah, those geometric horizons are like rocking or shit. I'm telling you, you can't buy one for love nor money.
Someone said before you read that super chat, someone said there was a baller.
Yeah, there's a baller in Discord named name of Cosmic Debris. He's off mute.
This
Cosmic
is hilarious.
Debris. Do you understand the argument?
I think Arwin wants to talk to Phil Bell, if not.
Yeah, for a second, it's just so funny because of what he said right there. Every time you have standard refraction, you see the physical horizon. Yeah, it's right. Because you know why? Because you don't have standard refraction, and therefore you don't see a physical horizon. So that's completely correct, Professor Phil Bell.
The circle jerk. Every time you have refraction, you see the physical horizon. Well, the refraction value utilised in standard refraction is based on the geometric horizon. 7/6R is based on the geometry. Do you have that little excerpt earlier where they, 10th man, where it explains that there's some geometric considerations to be taken when you are calculating the refraction? Don't know if you can dig that out in a pinch.
Yeah, it's posted in Master B.
Any chance you could dig it out? I'm just going to read out a couple of super chats as you do. I'm going to buy you a bit of time. Thanks to people spending money. Thank you very much to all these people super chatting me. I really, really appreciate the support. So, is it Drogema? DROM Dromega. I hope I've said your name right. Thank you very much for the support. Reporting to SEC for selling fake future horizons. Yeah, got to be careful. If I'd have sold him that geometric horizon, I'd be in a lot of trouble right now. You know, But there we go. I'm not unscrupulous, so what can I say? We've also got another super chat from Swan. Make a bet. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate the support. And Cleary says, "Hi Eddie Bravo. We can only pray he's watching." Thank you very much for the super chat, Cleary.
You want me to read it?
Yes, please. Perfect timing.
All right. Numerically, the radius of the Earth varies a little with latitude and direction, but a typical value is 6,378 kilometers, about 3,963 miles. If h is in meters, that makes the distance to the geometric horizon 3.57 kilometers times the square root of the height of the eye in meters, or about 1.23 miles times the square root of a eye height in feet. Andrew Thomas Young.
Perfect. It wasn't actually the one I wanted, but there we go.
I'm kind of confused about something Phil Bell said. He's saying because of the refraction that we would see the physical horizon, but aren't they all saying that we don't see it because of refraction?
Yeah, there's going to be. I said this on a couple of shows ago. I think it was on Thursday. We're going to get infighting. We're going to get infighting, Chocolate. They're going to be fighting amongst themselves about the nonsense they spew in rebuttal, and they're going to start fighting amongst themselves. That's all that can happen, because they've all got different bullshit explanations, none of which take them out of checkmate.
Yep. I mean, Professor Phil, you might want to confer with the rest of your globe-trotted friends and see what the actual argument is here, because you're all over the place right now. They're all denying the geometrical horizon is physical because of refraction. And here you are saying the exact opposite. You might want to get a grip.
So, Adam, are you there? I forgot who I was talking to here.
Yeah.
Okay, you're far better at math than I am. So, if you know the radius of something and the circumference of something, is that a mathematical equation? If you wanted to know having those two factors, you can figure out the mathematical.
Yeah, it's a geometric calculation. Yeah.
Okay. So I just read Thomas Andrew Young saying what I just asked you. Like, we know it's 3963. He puts it, we say 3959, but close enough. And at a 1 foot observer height, this is where the geometric horizon would be. That's a mathematical statement, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another saying of Thomas Andrew Young. Andrew Thomas Young, excuse me. No, the geometric horizon is not a real measurement. Its distance is the result of a real arithmetic problem, but the numbers used are rough approximations, not actual results of measurements, although they are indirectly based on real measurements. Oh boy.
So what he's saying there is yes, we do real calculations to calculate it, but it's not actually applicable to what we're looking at. Okay?
We have it, we don't have it. It's measurable, not measurable. Is that the law of non-contradiction?
It's not. Yeah, it's not physically measurable because it's not there. So they just assign it based on a real calculation.
But the 3963 and the circumference is real,
which is derived from an assumption of R. And I
but
suppose
they stand by that. They stand by that.
The only measured function would be the observer height. But everything else is assumed and placed into the geometry.
But isn't R and the circumference real numbers?
It's not measured, is it? But you can certainly measure a height above the sea level, couldn't you? That's the only measurement that's been measured or verified.
Right, but if you're a baller and you're on the sphere, are they not telling you physically the sphere has a circumference of 24,903 and a radius of 3963?
Yeah, it's the assumption you're making, yeah, for you to then assume where that point would be.
So are you saying the ballers are assuming the Earth's radius, or do they know the Earth's radius?
I think that's a housekeeping question.
Well, I think
so that we're still waiting.
In terms of Andrew Young's own words, you could think of it as more a thought experiment than an actual physical existence we take part in. So the idea of us being on a sphere has no physicality to base the assertion on. The extrapolation from physical geometry will give you refraction values and distances and ultimately an assumption that you're on a physical sphere. The only thing it won't do is actually demonstrate in any way, shape or form that we're on a physical sphere, because it doesn't have any physicality to the assumptions that they're making.
Well, shouldn't all the ballers know that it's all an assumption and not real, so they shouldn't be fighting for something that's not physical then?
This is their get out of jail, people like Andrew Thomas Young. So the other day someone said, oh, well, what happens when everyone finds out? Well, they go knocking on the doors of the people who are in charge that have apparently, in quotes, lied to us. And they will turn around and say, no, read what he actually says. He makes it plain. Thought experiment. Way of thinking and calculating based on assumptions of sphericity. He's making it plain. They didn't lie. They told you it was a model and you, Johnny Globehead retard, were just too stupid to listen to what the smarter people were telling you when they explained how the heliocentric model worked. So when you come here and tell us all about your model, and you go and bleat because you realise Earth is flat, that they've lied to you, they'll just laugh. The powers that should not be, the people who you think have lied to you, made it quite clear. You know, what you saw on the gobble box from NASA was just entertainment. For the kids, you know, like Button Moon. But what they actually told you in the philosophical circles of the higher powers was that it was a model. They made it explicitly clear that we're not living on a physical sphere, and so does Andrew Thomas Young. Merely a thought experiment based on non-physical geometry. So, you don't have what? The actual geometry of a sphere? Well, then you don't have a sphere. It is checkmate. We're now at the point where we're revealing how they've lied to you and given themselves a nice little opportunity to declare your stupidity when you realise you're not on a physical sphere. Just a way of looking at the world, a thought experiment. A model. Now, we've been telling you that, so we've not done anything wrong, no harm, no foul. We're making our own entertainment. We all realise it on this panel. You're not going to suddenly convince us of the physicality of this thought experiment. But when you realise it, maybe you'll all shit your pants and think the Masons are coming to get you. Like an orthodox or conspiracy cats. Suddenly you need sleepless nights because you think you've been lied to. No, you weren't lied to. They told you it was a model. You're just too stupid to realise that it's philosophy, not physicality. More fool you. Me, I realise that they've told us it's a model. And we don't live on a model. Been saying it for months, if not years. But Johnny Globehead doesn't realise it yet, and he's prepared to come here and tell us all about how it's the model. No, we don't live on a model. And they're making it clear that it's a model. So more fool you for believing that that model is reified into existence by way of us actually standing on a sphere. We're not. Earth is obviously and observably flat.
So Nathan, the Black Swan and Modus Tollens shattered their model.
Yeah, it made the assertion, by way of reification, untenable. A geometric impossibility now. Not something you can just believe in because you trust the R value the geometric values were all based upon. And Andrew Thomas Young again makes it clear that that isn't an actual physicality that he's utilising, merely what we've told you all along, an assumption of R. So you can't trust in it. It doesn't give you any physicality for your physical geometric horizon. It's been debunked by the Black Swan, and now your argument and position to reify this model that they told you all along was a model into existence. It's an untenable position to hold now. You don't have to like it, you fundy morons. And when you do realise it, bugger off and bleat to the people who you now think lied to you, while I sit and laugh at you while you go and moan at them and they laugh back. And say, we told you it's just philosophy. Yeah, we said it was a model. Don't you understand what a model is? Gee, idiots. Village idiots coming to moan at us because we knew it was flat all along and we never reified this model. We were generous enough to give you a way of thinking about the world. Go away and bloody think about it. Give a dog a bone and he moans about how juicy it is. Go on, sod off, peasant. That's what you'll get from the powers that should not be when you realise your stupidity and your reification in this model of a sphere Earth. It's not physical sphere. We don't have a geometric horizon. It's not physical. Earth is flat.
Yep.
Well, they should be sending you super chats for opening their eyes, but instead they come here, bury themselves in arguments that don't make sense.
Yeah, I wonder how many of the powers should not be will get porn bombed and continual reports to YouTube about how they're doing something they shouldn't be. No, what the moron and village idiot mentality will dictate them to do is go and ask them for a spoonful of more bullshit. Please, powers that should not be. We've realised it's just not the model. It's not working. It's untenable. Tell me, what is the world? And they'll spoon feed them some more nonsense. And they'll thank them for it. Won't you, village idiot globeheads? You'll thank them for the bullshit, just like you fight for it with us.
Well, they're barely even getting new handouts. They're not getting a lot of new systems handed down to them. It seems to be like, yeah, you're gonna have to figure this one out with everything we've given you so far on your own. That seems to be what's happening now, and that's why we're seeing so little new material. It's just more doublespeak now, because they got nothing left to play with.
You know what I saw as the towel throw? Go ahead, Travis.
I just said 3 words. It's damage control.
Well, no, I think I see it as throwing in the towel. When you've got the pinnacle of the argument for looming the horizon above the horizon with infinite, let's correct myself, greater than infinite over 6R, you then got Rumpus going to whatever his name is, Phil whatever. What's the guy's name again?
Andrew Thomas
Young, sorry. And so Rumpus goes to Andrew Thomas Young, and having had it declared that infinite over 6R is required in this instance, he says, no, just utilise standard refraction. You're like, what the hell use is 7 over 6R in this situation, man? That's just him going, yeah, just assume the geometry. What's the problem? I've made that clear in my doublespeak on my website. It's all been read out today by 10th man. So, you know, just assume everything's a sphere. What's your problem? That's what his basic reply is. Tell Ruhif with his infinite over 6R that you just need standard refraction, Ruhif. Just ask Thomas Young. You just need standard refraction, mate. Oh yeah, and that would require some geometric presumptions, of course, and some straight lines being drawn as tangents.
So it would require the same geometry that gets destroyed by the Black Swan argument. It's unfortunate.
Shout out to John LeBon for shouting out me for getting a shout out from Eddie Bravo. Thanks, John LeBon.
Oh, shout out to Nathan for doing the shout out for John LeBon when we mentioned the shout outs where we got the Iron Realm Media Have No Sphere shout out in.
There's a possibility.
We've got cosmic debris here. The baller is trying to talk. Not hearing anything come out of him though.
Still be subscribed to John LeBon. He's ace. I watch a lot of John LeBon. He's very good. And his website, check it out. If I've got this wrong, it's either johnlebon.com or jlb.com. I think it's actually johnlebon.com. Check him out. Gives a fair amount of free material on his website. And extremely well researched, educated guy. Very entertaining when he's not drunk. Good guy. Check out John LeBon. Shout out to Unicorn Laser Eyes, who says, Sean Hawkins to buy apparent and optical horizons. We'll see. Maybe he'll super chat me and buy a horizon. There's plenty of them available.
I touched on this earlier when I said that under the title in his work, Andrew Thomas Young called Refraction, Introduction, obviously to Refraction, the first part of his ongoing series of writings. At the bottom, after he does all his calculations of the page, says, calculating atmospheric refraction. All the discussion above deals with plane surfaces, period. But the Earth isn't flat. Well, my question is this. You took all these calculations on the flat Earth, then say the Earth isn't flat. If the Earth is curved, how can you say all these calculations are based on the plane surface if the Earth is actually a sphere?
Yeah, that's why back in the day when people used to say you're assuming F, I'd be like, no, you start with the planar geometry and then you insert the R value and turn it into spherical geometry. But you've got to start somewhere. And when you remove the presupposition of the R value from all the mathematics, same goes for the stars, right? If you remove the presupposition of R, i.e. you bend all the angles with your assumption that you're on a sphere surface, then what are you left with? Well, you're left with it being a plane. You're just removing that spherical presupposition. Well, what do you're left with the default for the maths, which is it being flat. So it's not like we're assuming the flat nature when you make these measurements. That's how it is. And again, the idea of having this geometry is a thought experiment by the people who give you your terrestrial refraction, geometric base 7/6R, all this nonsense. They're telling you. They're making it plain to you. The idea of it being a sphere is a thought experiment. Third ignored super chat now from Mind Warped. Oh, my bad. So Mind Warped did a super chat while I was in probably a really heated discussion, because of which I didn't read it out, and he's given me nothing but grief in Skype since. I'm really sorry. Ben didn't need to Mind Warped. He's giving me money to point out that I'm ignoring his super chats. Thank you very much for your support.
A bit more, Nate, as well. It's Jose's as well.
Did the same in Jose's.
No, you've missed Jose's super chatted you as well. I think you've missed that. So
yeah, man, it's raining super chats today.
Yeah.
Oh, did I get one from Jose?
A little bit of admin here.
A little
bit of admin real quick. So you started to speak about John LeBon, and I think you summoned him. He is in Discord. Over.
Oh, very nice. Good to have you here, John.
Can I speak? Am I here?
Yeah, you are. Got about 2 or 3 minutes left on the live show. Good timing.
Hey man, congratulations on that Eddie Bravo shout out. That's fantastic.
Thanks.
I saw the thumbnail and I thought you were doing some kind of parody or something, but I clicked it and actually Eddie Bravo, not just giving you a shout out, that's very complimentary words that he gave you.
Yeah, I pretty much put the bubble next to the word loved. That's where I put the thumbnail, literally, as he's saying that word, holding the mic tenderly. I couldn't be more pleased.
Yeah. And I just thought you were joking, but he literally says that he loves Nathan Oakley 1980. And I'm like, wow, that's high praise, man. I'm a big fan of Eddie Bravos.
I
agree with them.
That was, Nathan. Proper. I think everybody's commented on the. It wasn't just a shout out. It was like a go and check this guy out and take a bit of learning from the smashing he's giving to ballers.
Where is the shout out?
I've mirrored it. There's a picture of his face on it on the thumbnail on my channel. Just for context, they're talking about flat earthers, and when he says I love Nathan Oakley, he's contextualizing around the flat earthers that they love in terms of their content, as opposed to him having an actual desire in my direction. Just want to get that clear because it could have sounded that way.
No, it's high praise. And I'm a big fan of Eddie Bravos. That guy has the courage to talk about the North Korea hoax. I don't know if you've seen the video, but he tries to explain to Joe Rogan that North Korea, man, might not be a real country, which to me is obvious. But to a lot of people, that's a crazy suggestion. And Eddie Bravo's like, nah, man, look into it. And I've looked into it. I'm telling you, North Korea is a hoax. So for him to... I mean, yeah,
hoax?
like I said, man, congrats to you for getting that shout out from Eddie Bravo. I think that's
I don't
pretty
understand.
Cool.
What do you mean, hoax? Expand on it.
I don't believe North Korea is a real country for a start. Okay, all the footage that we see is recorded in the same make-believe part of a city. Like if you go and look for footage from North Korean, parades and military ceremonies, it's different footage from different years, but it's all the same place they're recording it. Now, how hard would it be to fake a city? Seriously. Just one fake city. It wouldn't be hard, man. It'd be easy. So I think North Korea is a completely fake country. And Kim Jong-un, or whatever this dude's name is clearly just an actor. Clearly. In fact, I'm open-minded to the idea that the same actor plays Kim Jong-un, also plays Psy from Oppa Gangnam Style. I know that sounds crazy, but we live in a crazy world.
I think you'll find it's Will Smith.
That's actually pretty funny.
It is funny, but
Gundam style.
Hold on, I've got 1 more minute left on the live show. Ask John LeBon a quick question. So, I mean, I've been to South Korea and discussed North Korea with South Koreans. So I'm not going to say, in the same way that, you know, the compartmentalization of NASA would mean that I could have the same comparison drawn, and you'd say, well, no, just because they think X, Y, and Z doesn't make it so. But by the same token, I'm cognitively struggling, having been to South Korea and talked about how the North Koreans behave and the situation between them and how they interact or don't interact, as the case may be. So I'm not going to write you off and say it's nonsense, far from it, but by the same token, it's a bit like, my eyes are very wide open at the moment thinking, what? That's crazy.
All right, so if you speak to those South Koreans, what do they know? They only know what the TV's told them. They have propaganda in their country just like we have in ours, man. They don't know anything more than you or I know. They just get TV propaganda.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the country in itself is fake. It just means that they have like a public face and they don't want anything else being leaked out there because they have a very strict mind control system.
Maybe so. I'm hoping we'll get
I'd
some more
put to you
context.
that all countries have a very strict mind control system.
Yeah,
so when
but
I say it's a
nothing
host
like that.
country, what I mean is...
So I'm really sorry to interrupt you guys. I'm just going to round out the live show. So another shout out to Retro Bill. Thank you very much indeed for smashing the super chat, Retro Bill. This conversation will continue in the after show. So check out Nathan Oakley, my second channel, where there will be an after show to follow. So just read out Retro Bill's super chat first. So he says, enjoying the show during LA rush hour traffic in my Toyota Corolla. Thank you very much indeed for your super chat, Retro Bill. As I say, stay tuned if you are watching on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, as there will be an after show to follow. A massive thank you to today's G+ and Discord panels for making this live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!